Jonathan, so great to have you on the podcast. How are you today?
Good, Giselle. Nice to meet you. Nice to be here.
Let's kick things right off. We tend to keep these short and sweet, so would love for you to tell the audience a little bit about your background, and then give us a quick overview of Engage.
Sure. So, I've been doing loyalty since I was 18, quite by accident. So it's all I know. And it's all I've ever done. And then about 16 years ago, decided I was tired of working for other companies. And everyone makes fun of me because I had a really good job and I wasn't working too hard. My wife was pregnant. I was doing a renovation. So we decided to quit and start my own company. It was perfect timing. And so, it's been a great journey. I've loved every minute of it. And so with Engage, we've actually managed to now do stuff that's different and changing an industry. So it's all very exciting and all working out the way, we'd hoped it would work out.
So if you were running into someone on the street and they saw you in that sweatshirt,
Yeah.
and they immediately go to what's Engage and what are you up to today, what would you tell them?
So we're a loyalty technology company. Our main focus is around creating a pay with points network for people to use their loyalty currency as a form of payment. And so the goal is, when you go and you tap your credit card or you go to pay for something, you should be prompted, hey, do you want to use your points for this? And so at Engage, we're building out that network. So integrations both into loyalty programs and then into all the retailers and partners who take payments.
Let's talk about for a second. I mean, people can assume, right? But I don't want anyone to assume. I want them to hear it from you. Like, why does this matter specifically to the retailers, but then go beyond that?
Sure. So if you think about this network, we've got three parties in it. We have the retailer, we have the loyalty program, and we have the member. And what Pay with Points is actually drives incredible value to all three of those. So if you start off with a loyalty program, and most of our clients are credit card loyalty programs. And so they spend a lot of money acquiring customers and getting them to be engaged in their program. When people can use their points at checkout, it's a low friction, easy to engage member engagement tool. And so what we see from the loyalty program sponsor is we see an uptake in utilization of the cards. We see an increase in spend. We see an increase in member engagement. And so an increase in retention. So all the drivers the credit card company is looking for. And as we're moving into non-credit card, we're seeing the same benefits. So think about a hospitality or a general loyalty program. For the member, we earn these points. We're running in a bit of inflation. So anything we can do that helps me buy something for less. And it's surprise and delight, and it's free and it's frictionless. You think about you walking into a store, you're at a gas station and you tap your card, you insert your card, and a gas station says, hey, do you want to save 50 cents a gallon? Or if you're at a retailer and says, hey, do you want to get $50 on this pair of sneakers? You're like, hey, that's great. And we get an incredible amount of connection between the member and the program. So there's no disintermediation of the reward. So the member went, oh, I just saved $50 on those pair of sneakers because of this credit card company who I got my points, or because of this hotel chain. So there's a huge member value. There's hundreds of billions of dollars worth of loyalty currency that doesn't get redeemed every year. There's over and above the 200-300 billion that gets redeemed. And so it's a way to get people engaged and members get good value for it. And like I said, it's easy and it's surprise and delight. From a retailer's point of view, there's a couple of benefits. One is we will see that with a high frequency retailer, so gas, grocery, big e-com retailer, we will see an increase in frequency of purchases, and we will see an increase in basket size. So the two things we're trying to do most as a retail partner. It is also a cheaper transaction than a credit card, so I get to save some money there. And our clients market the benefit to their base. So you're acquiring new customers as well. So for the three constituents, it becomes very much a win-win-win for everybody involved.
And you mentioned inflation in there. Like, I believe this to be true, but when things are more expensive, anytime you can find that opportunity, right, to use those points, and it's a very much a mental thing too, right? In some cases you're still paying the same, but because of points that you've already accumulated on spending on other things, you can now use that, and in your head, that item is now $20 cheaper, $10, whatever it is.
Free. Like you walk into a coffee shop and you tap your card, it's like, do you want your coffee for free? We're like, that was great, right? And then the next day you're going to come back and go, well, my coffee's going to be free, so I'm going to get the muffin, right? And members, so first of all, we work really hard with the loyalty programs to make sure that the value of the points isn't discounted. So the member's still getting their full value. So there's not, There's not a disincentive or a disservice for doing it. But a lot of the transactions are microtransactions. So they're $10 and $20 and $30, not the, hey, I'm saving up for a trip every 3 or 4 years and I'm going to spend thousands of dollars. And so you get this high frequency engagement and people talk about it. I mean, that's the best thing about it is actually people talk about using it. I mean, here's the story I told when we launched our first one. I was stuck in, dev rooms for months and I hadn't seen my parents anyway. So I was with my dad and my stepmom. And she said to me, oh, you know what? I was just shopping on Amazon today and I got to use my points. And it was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, okay, so you've been around for 25 years. You now finally know what I do for a living. But that's great. But, but the thing was, here was somebody who, this is before the marketing went out. Uninterrupted came to me and went, I got to do this. Look how cool that was. And because it's frictionless, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to sign up for anything. It just appears in the POS or in my checkout. You get this huge uptake and this huge amount of member engagement.
And I've been guilty of this sometimes when I know I have points. I might add more to the cart in the moment, right? Like, oh, it's because this is discounted. I still wanted to spend that amount of money, so let me get something else now. So it's it always, with what your business is doing too, it leaves a good taste in people. Like, people are happy when they get to use these points.
It's interesting. We do get complaints, but it's only when we're down for maintenance. And so, it's fine that we were down, like, every now and then you got to take systems down and you go down at 3 a.m. and we got these complaints. Hey, I went to the gas station and I couldn't save my 50 cents a gallon. What's going on? Right. And so it becomes part of people's lifestyles. And, so we see people will fill up with gas and once a month they'll use their points because they got to save $10 or $15 on a painful experience. And so, yes, there's very much a huge just benefit that's just a good feeling benefit for everybody.
You mentioned a few times that, like, seamless, painless. How important is that to you to continue to create that painless, seamless experience for the end user?
So, it's interesting because there are other ways of doing this that are less seamless and easier to do, but we don't get the same response and the same uptake. And so for us, we've got a set of guiding principles that we've seen that if we follow these, we will drive value to all three partners in the right way. When you veer off that, then the value proposition goes out of balance. And so, for us, it slows down and makes it a little more complicated, the integrations, but we do see a much better uptake, uplift. All the metrics that drive success in this require us to be able to, and if you think about it, when I go take a coffee shop example and I go to pay, and whether I'm using a card or my phone or my watch, I'm used to engaging with that POS. So it'll say, hey, do you want to add a gratuity? And the next screen will say, well, do you want to use your points for this? I don't have to take your eyes away. Like if I buzz your phone or call you afterwards, and there's no disintermediation. It's just like, oh yeah, great. And let's go. And that's why we get the huge uptake on the offers.
Those POS systems, when that tip screen comes up, it starts to give people PTSD, I'm telling you. Like, obviously, wanna tip the but it's such a weird, it'd be like you doing some, like, task for me, and then me holding in front of you what you need to pay me, and just looking at you with, like, the puppy dog eyes, and it's such a uh,
I think it's gone too far. Like where was the other day? I was downtown Toronto and they had these self-serve coffee machines. Like it's just a machine on the wall and you just tap your card and you grab a coffee. And it asked me if I wanted to add a tip. I'm like, it's a machine. No. Like, so yeah, I think that's a whole different conversation.
yeah, I know, you're right.
But it's people are used to looking at a POS, whether I'm putting in a pin, whether I'm signing a
Mhm.
terminal, and so it's easy, and that's where my eyes are at the time.
Not to bash and kind of similar but separate topic, and I don't wanna bash anyone, but I would be interested in hearing your take on this. Like, when you look back, Starbucks and a lot of these other
Mhm.
major chains had very, like, deep loyalty programs, and it was a reason to go back every couple of days. And since then, like, over, like, the last year, 2 years, Starbucks and other, like, even Dunkin' Donuts, right, have greatly reduced what these, like, loyalty programs actually are. Can we talk about the negative impacts of something like that? I know it's still slightly different, but,
Yeah.
you're still someone to talk to about this.
Yeah. So look, the purpose. So you have to think about different types of loyalty programs differently. So a retailer's loyalty program is about a couple of things. A, it's about getting you to come back and spend more, and it's about data. What can I know about you? What offer are you going to take? Some of these programs, the economics got out of whack. And so they became too expensive. They weren't driving the same results. And then people retool them. And the problem when you retool one is you have this core group of members who are your most avid members who get upset. And that's the reality of the business, the world, right? It's an ever evolving and fluctuating environment as we try to get stuff right, and market forces change. But, it's still really important because it's the only, if I'm a retailer, it's the only way I know who's coming into my store. And I need to be able to know something about who my customers. And so this allows me to do that.
I would like to hear, let's say there's retailers, and just other brands out there that aren't working with you today. Like, what's the pitch to work with you?
So come back. We sell to retailers, we sell to FIs.
Let's do actually. I would love to hear kind of the pitch for
Yeah,
both
that's
sides. Oh
both.
yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk to retailers, it's very much around the metrics I measured. Hey, we will bring an increase in sales. You'll bring an increase in basket size at a lower cost. If you have your own loyalty program, we will actually augment it because in order, we'll force people to join your program to use their points, our points. And it allows you to gain access to, and our clients will actually promote your product. So if you're a large coffee chain and you want to get, if you think, what do you want to do? I want to get new customers and I want them to spend more and I want them to come in more frequently. But I can actually put out promotions to members who are, whether they're frequency and stuff, and then drive traffic and increase spend. The other advantage is it's one integration with Engage. You get all of our clients. So as we keep adding clients, you just basically say, hey, do I want them or not? Right? And you may have a conflict. You may have bad experience, whatever it is. No one really says no on that side. And so as our client base grows, we're up to now, we have 60 million odd people active in our network. We'll be at a couple of 100 million end of next year. You don't have to do any more tech work. You basically add some bins to a database file and you're good to go. So a little bit of upfront work and then you get the benefits on an ongoing basis. For the FIs and for the other loyalty programs, it's similar. With one integration with Engage, you get all of our retail partners. And every time we add a new partner, you just say, hey, do I want them or not? Right? And if you do want them, we do some testing and go. And so then we also cut, and then you come back to the regular benefit. And, the thing with most credit card loyalty programs get it. They know a redeemer is going to spend more on their card than a non-redeemer. So if I can get you to become an active cardholder, your spend per card will go up, and that's worth a fortune to me. My retention will go high. My retention goes up, my spend goes up, my net promoter score goes up. So I get all of these massive benefits, and I can get to promote that, hey, you can work, with these other massive brands on the other side. So it is a very much win-win for everybody.
Let's just kind of look ahead a little bit, but also stay present. 2025 trends within just the loyalty fintech sector. What's really top of mind for you?
So two things. So one is expanding our network, right? And they are big enterprise deals. They take a long time, but the more points of distribution we have, the better off everybody is. And then the second part is, we're trying to use AI intelligently. I know it's the buzzword of the day, but where we're starting to test, and it's really machine learning, but we'll call it AI, is based upon the basket size, your point balance, and what I know about you, what offer can I put in front of you that you will take? An example is if you're at a shoe store and you're buying a $300 pair of shoes, and is $50 going to get your attention, or is it 10, or is it 100? And getting that offer so that I can get a higher uptake of the offer, it drives huge amount of value to everybody. So those are the two things we're looking at right now. And that's our main focus, 25 and going into 26.
Is there a future in which you'll also see, and this could already be done, I'm not quite sure, I would love your take on it, but where almost like proactively too, it's like sending an email saying, hey, you haven't shopped here in a while, we know you have some point, like.
So it's actually, yeah. So so that's the other side, right? So now that we're integrated, now we start looking and saying, okay, you haven't been here in 6 months. And so what we will do is we'll actually put an offer into your phone. So you'll get emails done. I mean, it's not as effective anymore, but I know where you are. So I can either tier tag or put an offer out. So we end up putting a loyalty card in your app, Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet. And then I can put an offer onto that card. So it could go, hey, Jared, if you go to this retailer today and spend $50, I'm going to give you a $20 statement credit or a, double points, or your points when you redeem or with Y. Like we can do all of those things. So we're slowly getting there. Right now, the focus is still foundational. And then they start to add in these value add for everybody, right?
Really cool. I love this.
Yeah.
Um, Jonathan, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you a little bit, learning more about Engage, and definitely want to continue the conversation in the future. Please keep us up to date on any updates, and wishing you and the team all the best of luck.
I appreciate the time to this, Greg. Thank you.